Daring greatly requires vulnerability, a truth that may feel counterintuitive in a world that often equates strength with invincibility. To many, vulnerability seems like a weakness, a chink in the armor that leaves us exposed to criticism, judgment, or failure. Yet if we examine the moments that have shaped our lives, the instances where we've truly dared greatly, they were likely filled with uncertainty and risk. These are the hallmarks of vulnerability. To dare greatly, we must embrace this openness, stepping forward with courage, even when the outcome is unclear. Vulnerability is not about bearing everything to everyone. Instead, it's the willingness to be seen for who we truly are, to share our thoughts, feelings, and dreams without guarantees of acceptance or success. It's showing up fully, knowing there is a chance we might fall short. Whether it's admitting we're wrong, expressing our love, pursuing a passion, or striving for a dream, vulnerability is at the heart of all meaningful endeavors. It's what makes us human, connects us to one another, and gives depth to our experiences. In daring greatly, vulnerability becomes a paradoxical strength. When we allow ourselves to be vulnerable, we invite growth and creativity into our lives. It's through vulnerability that we take risks, stretch our limits, and learn new things. It's what propels us to innovate, to try again after failure, and to connect deeply with others. Without vulnerability, we would remain in our comfort zones, avoiding the discomfort of uncertainty, but also missing out on the joy and fulfillment that come from striving for something greater. Consider the courage it takes to embark on a new journey, a career change, starting a business, or pursuing a creative passion. Each of these endeavors requires us to confront the possibility of failure. We risk criticism, self-doubt, and the sting of rejection. But by daring greatly and embracing vulnerability, we allow ourselves the chance to grow into our fullest potential. Even when we stumble, the act of trying teaches us resilience and strength. It reminds us that we are capable of weathering life's storms and emerging stronger on the other side. Relationships, too, demand vulnerability. To love is to open ourselves to the possibility of loss or heartbreak. To share our feelings is to risk being misunderstood or rejected. Yet, it is through this openness that we forge genuine, lasting connections. Vulnerability in relationships creates trust, deepens intimacy, and fosters mutual understanding. It allows us to be seen and accepted for who we truly are, flaws and all. Without vulnerability, relationships remain shallow, unable to withstand the inevitable challenges that come their way. Even in leadership, vulnerability plays a crucial role. Leaders who dare greatly show their humanity, admitting when they don't have all the answers and being willing to learn alongside their teams. This kind of leadership fosters trust and collaboration, inspiring others to do the same. Vulnerable leaders create environments where innovation thrives because they encourage others to take risks without fear of judgment or failure. But vulnerability isn't easy. It's uncomfortable, even scary, to open ourselves up in this way. The fear of rejection, failure, or criticism looms large, tempting us to put up walls to protect ourselves. Yet these walls don't just keep out pain, they also block joy, connection, and growth. Choosing vulnerability is a brave act, one that requires us to acknowledge our fears but not be ruled by them. Daring greatly through vulnerability is ultimately about living authentically. It's about saying, this is who I am, and I'm willing to show up fully, even if it means I might fall. It's about valuing growth and connection over perfection or certainty. When we embrace vulnerability, we discover the richness of life in its fullest expression. By daring greatly, we give ourselves the freedom to live boldly, authentically, and courageously. Life's defining moments often occur when we step outside our comfort zones, challenging ourselves to embrace uncertainty, discomfort, and the unknown. The comfort zone is a space of safety and predictability, where we feel in control and shielded from failure. While it provides a sense of security, it also limits growth and the possibilities that lie beyond its boundaries. True transformation, growth, and fulfillment are rarely found within the confines of this familiar territory. Instead, they emerge when we dare to take risks, face challenges, and venture into uncharted waters. When we step outside our comfort zones, we open ourselves to experiences that test our resilience, creativity, and adaptability. These moments often feel daunting because they require us to confront our fears and insecurities. It's easier to stay within the realm of what we know, avoiding the discomfort that comes with uncertainty. But when we choose to step into the unknown, we unlock opportunities to learn more about ourselves and the world around us. It is in these moments of uncertainty that we discover our true potential. Consider some of life's most significant milestones: starting a new career, moving to a new city, entering a new relationship, or taking on a challenging project. These moments often involve a leap of faith, a willingness to embrace vulnerability and risk. They push us to grow in ways we may not have thought possible. While the process can be uncomfortable, the rewards are often profound. Each step outside our comfort zone broadens our horizons, builds our confidence, and teaches us valuable lessons about perseverance and adaptability. Growth requires challenge. Muscles grow stronger when they face resistance, and the same is true for our personal and professional development. Staying in our comfort zones may protect us from failure, but it also prevents us from reaching new heights. Taking on challenges, even when success is not guaranteed, allows us to develop skills, expand our knowledge, and grow in ways that would never be possible if we remained in the familiar. Stepping outside our comfort zones also fosters creativity and innovation. When we try new things or approach problems from different angles, we often discover solutions and ideas that wouldn't have occurred to us otherwise. Innovation rarely happens in a space of routine and sameness. It thrives when we take risks, explore the unknown, and allow ourselves to think differently. However, venturing outside our comfort zones is not without its challenges. It's natural to feel fear, self-doubt, or anxiety when faced with uncertainty. These emotions can be powerful deterrents, convincing us to retreat to the safety of the familiar. But the discomfort we experience is often a sign that we're on the cusp of growth. By acknowledging these feelings and moving forward despite them, we build courage and resilience. The rewards of stepping outside our comfort zones extend beyond personal growth. It's also where we create memories and experiences that shape our lives. Think about the moments you're most proud of, or the stories you tell with the greatest enthusiasm. Chances are they involve times when you took a risk, faced a challenge, or tried something new. These moments stand out because they represent times when you pushed your boundaries and embraced the adventure of life. Life's defining moments also have a ripple effect, inspiring those around us. When we dare to step outside our comfort zones, we show others that it's possible to face fears and overcome obstacles. We become examples of courage and determination, encouraging others to follow suit. Ultimately, stepping outside our comfort zones is about embracing life's possibilities. It's about choosing growth over stagnation, adventure over routine, and courage over fear. While it may feel uncomfortable at first, the rewards are immeasurable. By taking risks and challenging ourselves, we not only create a life filled with meaning and purpose, but also discover who we truly are. The defining moments of our lives are waiting not in the safety of the familiar, but in the vast, untapped potential of the unknown. Failure is an inevitable and essential part of the process of growth, learning, and success. Despite society's tendency to stigmatize failure, it plays a crucial role in shaping who we are and what we achieve. When we reflect on the accomplishments of great individuals, innovators, leaders, artists, and visionaries, we often find that their journeys were marked by setbacks, mistakes, and failures. These moments were not roadblocks, but stepping stones that propelled them toward their ultimate goals. To understand the value of failure, we must first reframe our perception of it. Failure is not the opposite of success, it is an integral part of it. Every attempt, whether successful or not, provides us with lessons that refine our approach and deepen our understanding. Failure teaches resilience, the ability to bounce back from setbacks stronger and more determined than before. It forces us to confront our limitations, adapt to new circumstances, and develop skills that we might not have cultivated otherwise. When we fail, we gain clarity. Mistakes often reveal gaps in our knowledge or flaws in our strategies. They push us to think critically, to reevaluate our assumptions, and to experiment with new solutions. This process of trial and error is at the heart of innovation. Many of history's greatest breakthroughs were born out of repeated failures. Thomas Edison famously said of his attempts to invent the light bulb, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Each failure brought him closer to the solution, demonstrating the iterative nature of success. Failure also builds character. It teaches humility by reminding us that we are not infallible. It cultivates patience, as progress often requires persistence over time. Most importantly, it fosters courage. Each time we fail and choose to try again, we reinforce our ability to face challenges head-on. This courage becomes a cornerstone of personal and professional growth, enabling us to take risks and pursue goals with greater confidence. Despite its benefits, failure can be difficult to endure. It often comes with feelings of disappointment, frustration, or even shame. These emotions are natural, but they should not define our relationship with failure. Instead of viewing failure as a reflection of our worth, we can choose to see it as a learning opportunity. By separating our identity from our outcomes, we can approach failure with curiosity rather than self-criticism. Moreover, failure connects us to others. It is a universal experience that reminds us of our shared humanity. When we acknowledge our failures and share our stories, we create spaces for empathy and understanding. These connections can be profoundly healing and empowering, as they remind us that we are not alone in our struggles. It is important to note that failure is not about recklessness or a lack of preparation. While taking risks is necessary for growth, those risks should be informed and thoughtful. The goal is not to seek failure for its own sake, but to embrace it when it happens as part of a meaningful journey. Each setback offers valuable insights that guide us towards smarter, more effective actions. The fear of failure often holds people back from pursuing their dreams or taking chances. This fear is rooted in a desire to avoid discomfort, judgment, or rejection. However, by avoiding failure, we also miss out on the opportunities that come with risk. True success requires us to face this fear and move forward anyway, knowing that failure is not the end of the road but a step along the way. Ultimately, failure is a sign of effort and ambition. It means that we dare to try, to stretch beyond our comfort zones, and to aim for something meaningful. Each failure we experience adds depth to our journey and contributes to the richness of our story. By embracing failure as part of the process, we unlock the potential for growth, discovery, and success that lies on the other side of persistence. Failure is not something to be avoided or feared. It is something to be appreciated for the wisdom and strength it brings. Courage is a quality that often calls to mind grand, heroic acts, moments of extraordinary bravery in the face of immense challenges. However, courage is not limited to these dramatic moments. It exists in both the monumental and the seemingly mundane. It is present in the decisions we make every day, in the quiet acts of resilience, and in the choices that reflect our values and aspirations. True courage is as much about the small, deliberate acts as it is about the big, life-changing ones. In its grand form, courage is what we often see celebrated in stories of heroism, individuals facing danger, standing up for justice, or overcoming tremendous odds. These acts inspire us because they demonstrate the extraordinary strength of the human spirit. They remind us of our capacity to rise above fear and achieve remarkable things when the stakes are high. Examples of this kind of courage include firefighters running into burning buildings, activists standing firm in the face of oppression, or explorers venturing into the unknown. Such acts capture our imagination and serve as powerful examples of what is possible when fear is overcome by resolve. Yet, courage is not confined to these rare, dramatic moments. It is equally present in the quiet, everyday acts that may go unnoticed but are no less significant. It takes courage to be honest in a difficult conversation, to admit when we're wrong, or to ask for help when we're struggling. It takes courage to pursue a dream even when the path is uncertain, or to show up authentically in a world that often pressures us to conform. These smaller acts of courage may not make headlines, but they shape our lives and the lives of those around us in profound ways. One of the most relatable forms of courage is the decision to embrace vulnerability. Sharing our true selves, our hopes, and our fears requires a level of bravery that is often underestimated. Vulnerability opens the door to connection, growth, and understanding, but it also exposes us to the risk of rejection or criticism. Choosing to be vulnerable in our relationships, our work, or our creative pursuits is an act of quiet courage that fosters authenticity and builds trust. Courage is also found in perseverance. Life is full of challenges, some big, some small, and facing them requires resilience and determination. Whether it's the courage to keep going after a setback, to tackle a difficult project, or to confront a personal fear, these acts of perseverance demonstrate a steadfast bravery. Each time we choose to move forward despite the obstacles, we strengthen our ability to navigate future challenges with confidence. The beauty of courage in small acts is that it is accessible to everyone, every day. While not everyone will have the opportunity to perform a grand act of heroism, each of us can practice courage in our own lives. It might be the courage to stand up for someone being treated unfairly, to try something new, or to speak our truth even when it feels uncomfortable. These moments of bravery may seem small in isolation, but collectively they create a life that is rich with purpose and integrity. The ripple effect of courage cannot be underestimated. When we act courageously, whether in big or small ways, we inspire others to do the same. A single act of bravery can encourage someone else to take their own step toward growth or change. This shared courage strengthens communities and creates a culture of support and empowerment. Ultimately, courage is about action in the face of fear. It is not the absence of fear, but the choice to move forward despite it. Whether it's a bold leap or a steady step, every act of courage contributes to our growth and resilience. By recognizing and celebrating the courage present in both big and small acts, we honor the many ways bravery enriches our lives. Courage is the thread that weaves through our greatest triumphs and our most personal victories, reminding us of our capacity to face life's challenges with strength and grace. Critics are an unavoidable part of life, particularly for anyone striving to achieve something meaningful or stepping out of the ordinary. Their voices, whether external or internal, often echo with doubt, judgment, or negativity. It is easy to let these voices weigh heavily on us, but it's essential to remember that critics don't define who we are. Their words may reflect their own fears, biases, or limited perspectives, but they do not determine our worth, capabilities, or potential. Criticism often comes when we step into the arena of life. As Theodore Roosevelt famously described the space where we take risks, embrace challenges, and dare greatly. The very act of trying, of putting ourselves out there, invites scrutiny. While constructive feedback can be valuable, much of the criticism we face is not constructive at all. It often comes from those who are watching from the sidelines, offering opinions without understanding the full context of our efforts or the courage it takes to act. One of the most important lessons in life is learning to differentiate between constructive feedback and unwarranted criticism. Constructive feedback is offered with the intent to help us grow. It is specific, actionable, and rooted in a desire to see us succeed. Unwarranted criticism, on the other hand, often comes from a place of negativity, insecurity, or misunderstanding. It can be vague, personal, or dismissive, serving no purpose other than to discourage or belittle. Recognizing the difference allows us to focus on what can help us improve while letting go of what doesn't serve us. It's also important to understand that critics often project their own fears and insecurities onto others. When someone criticizes your ambition, creativity, or choices, it may say more about their own limitations than yours. People who are afraid to take risks or who have been held back by their own self-doubt may struggle to support or understand those who dare to try. Their criticisms reflect their experiences and not necessarily an accurate judgment of your path. Internal critics, often referred to as the inner voice or self-doubt, can be just as challenging as external ones. This internal critic often magnifies fears, highlights imperfections, and questions our worthiness. However, just as external critics don't define us, neither does this inner voice. Recognizing self-doubt as a natural part of the process can help us move forward. It's a sign that we're stepping out of our comfort zone and attempting something meaningful. By reframing our relationship with self-doubt, we can acknowledge its presence without letting it hold us back. Facing criticism requires resilience and a strong sense of self. It involves staying true to our values, goals, and passions despite the opinions of others. This doesn't mean ignoring feedback entirely. It means being selective about whose opinions we allow to influence us. The voices that matter most are those of people who genuinely understand and support us, who have walked a similar path, or who offer insights grounded in care and expertise. Critics often fade away over time, but the impact of our actions endures. History is filled with examples of individuals who faced relentless criticism, yet persisted and ultimately achieved greatness. Artists, inventors, leaders, and visionaries often encountered skepticism or ridicule in their time, only to be celebrated later for their contributions. Their stories remind us that criticism is not a definitive measure of value or success. Ultimately, critics do not have the power to define us unless we give them that power. We define ourselves through our actions, choices, and the way we respond to challenges. By focusing on our own growth and purpose, we can rise above the noise of criticism and continue moving forward. Every step we take toward our goals is a testament to our courage and determination. regardless of what others may say. The path to success and fulfillment is rarely smooth or free of critics, but it is ours to walk. By staying grounded in our values and remaining resilient in the face of judgment, we can chart a course that is uniquely our own. The opinions of critics may momentarily distract or sting, but they cannot define the essence of who we are. That power belongs solely to us. Daring greatly leads to a meaningful life because it requires us to step into the arena of uncertainty and fully embrace the possibilities life offers. To dare greatly is to live with courage, authenticity, and a willingness to risk failure in pursuit of what matters most. It means choosing action over hesitation, growth over stagnation, and purpose over complacency. This approach to life is not always easy, but it is deeply fulfilling, as it allows us to connect with ourselves, others, and the world around us in profound ways. A meaningful life is not defined by an absence of challenges or failures, but by the richness of the experiences we encounter and the growth that comes from them. Daring greatly involves taking risks, whether in love, work, or personal pursuits. It is about striving for goals that inspire us, even when the outcome is uncertain. These efforts, regardless of their success, bring depth and significance to our lives. They show us what we are capable of and remind us that we are alive and engaged with the world. To dare greatly is to confront fear head-on. Fear of failure, rejection, or criticism can be paralyzing, keeping us stuck in a safe but unfulfilling comfort zone. However, meaningful lives are rarely built in places of safety. When we choose to face our fears and take bold steps forward, we open the door to new opportunities and experiences. Each act of courage, no matter how small, builds our confidence and strengthens our sense of purpose. Vulnerability is another essential aspect of daring greatly. It requires us to be honest about our desires, fears, and aspirations, even when there is no guarantee of success. Vulnerability fosters authentic connections with others, deepening relationships and creating a sense of belonging. When we allow ourselves to be seen as we truly are, we create space for genuine intimacy and trust. This level of connection is a cornerstone of a meaningful life, as it reminds us that we are not alone in our struggles and triumphs. Daring greatly also aligns us with our core values and passions. It encourages us to pursue what truly matters, rather than settling for what is easy or expected. When we live in alignment with our values, we experience a sense of fulfillment that cannot be achieved through external validation or material success alone. Each step we take toward our goals, no matter how challenging, reinforces our commitment to living authentically and purposefully. Failure is an inevitable part of daring greatly, but it is also one of its most valuable aspects. Each setback teaches us resilience, adaptability, and perseverance. It reminds us that growth often comes from discomfort, and that the path to success is rarely a straight line. By embracing failure as a natural part of the process, we learn to see it not as an endpoint, but as a stepping stone on the journey to something greater. The rewards of daring greatly are not always immediate, but they are enduring. A meaningful life is built on the accumulation of moments when we chose courage over fear, action over hesitation, and authenticity over pretense. These choices shape our character, deepen our connections, and enrich our experiences. They create a legacy that reflects our values and inspires others to do the same. Ultimately, daring greatly is about fully engaging with life. It is about showing up, even when the outcome is uncertain, and giving our best effort to the things that matter most. It is about being present, taking risks, and embracing the beauty and messiness of the human experience. A meaningful life is not a life free of challenges or failures, but a life lived with intention, courage, and heart. By daring greatly, we create a life that is not only meaningful to ourselves, but also leaves a lasting impact on the world around us.